Kaiba versus Atem, a small teaser for a duel at the end of the Dark Side of Dimensions movie. We see Kaiba travel via the power of the quantum cube to a new dimension where Atem appeared in his pharaoh attire, and I'm not certain where exactly this setting is, but I believe it's the afterlife or spirit world where Atem currently resides. So if we're assuming that they were about to duel each other, who would win? Firstly, I'd like to say that I believe there's a reason it was set up this way, and I do think that an ambiguous ending is a fitting ending. At the end of the day, these are two of the greatest duelists we've ever seen, and there's a good chance that this could result in a draw. But I'm gonna give two potential outcomes, and you can pick the one that you prefer. I believe that if they had played out this duel in the movie, Kaiba would win. Throughout this movie, we see how much effort Kaiba has put into bringing the pharaoh back. We even get to see him running simulations dueling against him, in which he achieves his perfect victory. However, I think it's disrespectful to Atem to believe that Kaiba could achieve a perfect victory against him. This is a man who beat him time and time again, and if it weren't for Yugi's intervention, would have beaten him 3 times. Kaiba has shown enough dedication and hard work for me to believe that he actually has a chance against Atem. And I think if they were to write a duel between Kaiba and Atem at this time, they would reward Kaiba with that victory. Something I want to mention is that I don't think under any scenario should this be a duel for the title of the King of Games. And I don't think it's Kaiba's intention to reclaim the title of the King of Games, because he never mentions reclaiming the title. What he does mention is wanting to get revenge, and until he settles the score, his scars of defeat will continue to burn. In addition to this, we can assume that he's not after the title of the King of Games because nobody is around to witness this duel. And I think that's important because Kaiba's identity as the King of Games was ruined when he was embarrassingly defeated by Exodia, and one of the reasons I feel this was embarrassing for him is because of the damage it did to his reputation. He was no longer the best, and his obsession over reclaiming his title was just to prove to everyone that he was still the best. But now, he doesn't care about proving it to everyone else, just proving it to himself. I think this particular ending would be very fitting for Kaiba's character, particularly if he had won in a way that Atem would never expect. For example, I think it would be an amazing ending if Kaiba attacks Atem directly with his weakest monster to reduce Atem's life points to 0 and win. This would be great development for Kaiba, as it would show that he's able to look past his stubbornness and actually take a lesson from Atem. In this scenario, I imagine Atem being shocked but impressed by Kaiba's moves, congratulating him and gracefully accepting defeat, with Kaiba additionally being humble in victory, thanking Atem for a great game and returning to his home dimension if he's able to do that. I think this would be a fitting way for it to end, but I'd like to offer an alternative as well, in which we see Atem gain the victory instead. But if Atem did win, how exactly would it happen? Remember, Kaiba knows almost every move that Atem can make, and has been specifically practicing to beat him, so Atem would have to do something that Kaiba would never expect. He draws and plays the Seal of Orichalcos. Okay, not really, but could you imagine that duel? I think the way Atem would beat Kaiba would be using his own cards against him. Kaiba would expect this kind of strategy from a duelist he believes to be below him, like Joey. But in a way, Kaiba gives Atem too much respect, since in the past he usually comes up with some elaborate combination of cards to beat Kaiba. Kaiba may have developed countermeasures to all of Atem's moves, but not his own. I imagine it going something like this. Kaiba would be at a massive life point advantage, with 3,000 compared to Atem's 100. It's Atem's last turn. He draws, giving him a total of 2 cards in his hand, with only one monster, Karibo, on the field. The card he drew was Exchange. He activates it, leaving only 1 card in his hand, which he swaps for Kaiba's 1 card in his hand. Atem gives up Celtic Guardian for Enemy Controller. He activates it, tributing Karibo to bring Blue Eyes White Dragon to his side of the field, and attacks directly to win the game. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and make sure to let me know which ending you prefer in the comments below.